something that far too many people between the ages of 65 and 80 are still doing every single day without realizing how much damage it's causing. It's not just slowing down your health, but it could be silently cutting years off your life. The truth is, once you reach this stage, your body goes through changes that make certain habits far more dangerous than they used to be. What worked in your 40s and 50s could now be putting you at risk of serious health issues, and most people don't even realize it until it's too late. That's why in this video, we're going to cover 5 things you need to stop doing immediately. If you're between 65 and 80, this is your last chance to make these changes before they start, taking a serious toll on your health, energy, and longevity. Stick with me until the end because the last one is something almost no one talks about, but it's one of the biggest mistakes you could be making right now. Before we begin, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you enjoy this video, please type 1 in the comments. If you don't like it, type 0 in the comments to let me know, so I can make better videos for you. Now let's get started. Mistake 1, sitting for long periods without movement. One of the worst things you can do for your body after 60 is sitting too much. You might think, I go for a walk every day, so I'm staying active. But here's the problem. Even if you exercise, sitting for hours at a time can still increase your risk of heart disease, muscle loss, and poor circulation. Studies show that prolonged sitting slows metabolism, weakens the legs and core, and puts excess strain on your joints, all of which can lead to reduced mobility, chronic pain, and a higher risk of falls. Think about this if you've ever stood up after sitting for a while and felt stiffness in your knees or tightness in your back. That's your body telling you it's not getting enough movement. Sitting for too long reduces blood flow, making muscles and joints stiff, while also increasing the risk of blood clots, weight gain, and even cognitive decline. This is exactly what happened to someone like George, 72. He always believed that taking his daily walk was enough, but over time, he noticed his legs were feeling weaker and his back pain was getting worse. His doctor explained that it wasn't just about walking, it was about breaking up long periods of sitting. He started setting a timer to stand up and move every 30 to 45 minutes, doing simple stretches or light activity. Within weeks, he noticed less stiffness, better circulation, and even improved energy levels. Here's a simple test. If you sit for more than an hour at a time, try standing up right now and rolling your shoulders, stretching your legs, or walking around for just a few minutes. If you feel an instant difference, that's proof that your body needs more frequent movement throughout the day. The key isn't just exercising, it's staying consistently active. If you've been sitting too much, now is the time to change it. Small movements throughout the day, standing up, stretching, walking around, even shifting positions, can have a huge impact on how your body feels and functions. Mistake 2, ignoring protein intake and losing muscle mass. One of the biggest mistakes people make after 60 is not getting enough protein, and it's costing them muscle, strength, and energy. You might think, I eat enough food, so I must be fine. But here's the reality as you age. Your body processes protein less efficiently, meaning you need even more of it to maintain muscle mass. If you're not paying attention to your protein intake, you're likely losing muscle without even realizing it. Muscle loss, also known as sarcopenia, is one of the biggest threats to independence after 60. It happens gradually, and most people don't notice it until simple things, like standing up from a chair, carrying groceries, or climbing stairs, start feeling harder than they used to. The real danger: once muscle is lost, it's much harder to rebuild. And when muscles weaken, so does your balance, making falls and injuries far more likely. This is exactly what happened to someone like Richard, 68. He thought he was eating well, but over time he noticed that his legs felt weaker. His arms looked thinner and his energy levels weren't the same. His doctor told him that he wasn't getting enough protein to support his muscles. So he started increasing his intake, adding more lean meats, eggs, beans, nuts, and protein-rich dairy into his diet. Within weeks, he felt stronger, more energetic, and even more stable on his feet. If you want to see where your muscle strength is right now, try to stand up from a chair without using your hands. If that feels difficult, or if you feel unsteady, it may be a sign that your muscles are weakening and your body needs more protein and strength training to prevent further loss. So if you're still eating the same way you did in your 40s or 50s, it's time to rethink your diet. More protein isn't just a good idea. It's essential for keeping you strong, mobile, and independent. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. Now let's continue. Mistake 3, neglecting sleep and disrupting your body's repair process. Many people assume that needing less sleep is just part of aging, but that's actually one of the biggest myths out there. The truth is, your body still needs quality sleep, not just to feel rested, but to support memory, muscle recovery, heart health, and even your immune system. The problem? As people get older, they often develop poor sleep habits that lead to chronic fatigue, increased inflammation, and even a higher risk of cognitive decline. If you've ever found yourself waking up in the middle of the night, struggling to fall back asleep, or feeling groggy even after a full night in bed, your body may not be getting the deep restorative sleep it needs, and the consequences are serious. Studies show that sleep deprivation weakens the immune system, increases the risk of heart disease, and can accelerate memory problems over time. Take someone like Frank, 71. He always thought that sleeping fewer hours was just something that happened with age. But over time, he started noticing more daytime fatigue, brain fog, and even changes in his blood pressure. His doctor explained that his body still needed deep sleep to function properly, and the key was improving his nighttime habits. So he made a few simple changes, reducing late-night screen time, avoiding caffeine in the evening, and creating a bedtime routine. Within a few weeks, he noticed dramatic improvements in his energy, focus, and overall well-being. If you're not sure whether your sleep is actually refreshing, here's a simple test. Do you wake up feeling rested and alert? Or do you feel sluggish and need extra time to get moving? If you're feeling groggy most mornings, your sleep may not be working for you, and now is the time to fix it. Quality sleep is not optional. It's one of the most important factors for long-term health, cognitive function, and physical recovery. Mistake 4, avoiding strength and balance training. One of the biggest mistakes people make after 60 is assuming that walking is enough exercise. While walking is great for your heart and mobility, it doesn't do enough to maintain strength, balance, or prevent falls. The reality is, as you age, your muscles naturally weaken, your balance declines, and your risk of falling increases, unless you actively work to stop it. Here's what most people don't realize: falls are the leading cause of injury in older adults. And most falls happen not because of weak legs, but because of poor balance and muscle loss. If you aren't challenging your body with strength and stability exercises, you're unknowingly making yourself more vulnerable to stumbles, trips, and serious injuries. This is exactly what happened to someone like Edward, 74. He walked daily, thinking that was enough. But one day he misjudged a step, lost his balance, and took a bad fall. He didn't break anything, but the experience shook him up. His doctor explained that his balance was deteriorating because he wasn't training his stabilizing muscles. So he started adding gentle strength exercises, core training, and balance drills into his routine. Within a few weeks, he noticed he felt more stable, more confident, and far less afraid of falling. Strength training doesn't mean lifting heavy weights at the gym. It can be as simple as using resistance bands, doing bodyweight squats, practicing standing on one foot, or even using a chair for support while doing leg exercises. The key is to challenge your muscles and balance so that your body stays strong, coordinated, and resilient. If you want to test your balance right now, try this. Stand near a counter, lift one foot slightly off the ground, and see if you can hold your balance for at least 10 seconds. If you struggle, that's a clear sign your balance needs work. And the sooner you start, the better. Your muscles and balance are your foundation, and ignoring them after 60 is one of the fastest ways to lose mobility. If you've been relying only on walking, it's time to prioritize strength and stability, training to keep yourself active, independent, and injury-free. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. Now let's continue. Mistake 5, ignoring hydration and dehydrating your body. One of the most overlooked health risks after 60 is not drinking enough water. You might think, I'm not thirsty that often, so I must be fine. But here's the problem. Your body's thirst signals become weaker as you age, meaning you may already be dehydrated before you even feel thirsty. And chronic dehydration doesn't just make you feel tired. It can lead to joint pain, constipation, kidney problems, confusion, and even an increased risk of falls. Dehydration is sneaky. Most people assume that as long as they drink something throughout the day, they're getting enough fluids. But the truth is, by the time you feel thirsty, you're already behind on hydration. And the effects are serious. When your body doesn't get enough water, your muscles become weaker, your joints lose lubrication, and your brain function slows down, which can lead to dizziness, poor concentration, and an increased risk of injury. This is exactly what happened to someone like Walter, 76. He thought he was drinking enough because he had coffee in the morning and a little water with meals. But over time, he noticed more frequent headaches, muscle cramps, and episodes of dizziness when standing up. His doctor explained that coffee and tea act as diuretics, meaning they pull water from the body rather than replenishing it. So Walter made a simple change. He started drinking a full glass of water first thing in the morning and sipping throughout the day. Within a few weeks, he felt more alert, had better digestion, and even noticed his joints weren't as stiff. If you want to check whether you're drinking enough, try this: pinch the skin on the back of your hand and hold it for a second. If it snaps back immediately, you're likely hydrated. If it takes a moment to settle, your body may need more water. The good news? This is one of the easiest things to fix. Keeping a glass of water nearby and taking small sips throughout the day can dramatically improve energy, digestion, joint health, and even brain function. Don't wait until you're thirsty, because by then, your body's already struggling to keep up. Final thoughts. As we wrap up this video, take a moment to reflect on these 5 mistakes. If you've been doing any of them, don't worry, it's never too late to make a change. Whether it's breaking up long periods of sitting, increasing your protein intake, improving your sleep, adding strength training, or staying hydrated, every small adjustment you make adds up to a healthier, stronger, and more independent future. The good news is your body is incredibly resilient. Even if you've been making these mistakes for years, you can start reversing the damage today. The key is consistency. Small daily habits have a huge impact over time. Your health isn't just about avoiding illness. It's about staying strong, mobile, and full of energy for as long as possible. So, which of these 5 areas do you need to focus on the most? Have you noticed any changes in your strength, energy, or overall health? We'd love to hear. Ever notice that as you get older, you start visiting people less often? Maybe you used to be the kind of person who made the rounds, stopping by to see friends, attending every event, making sure to stay socially active. But over time, something shifts. You start thinking twice before heading out, and those casual visits don't feel as necessary as they once did. And here's the truth, that's completely okay. In this video, we're going to talk about 6 real reasons why I don't go visiting around anymore. These aren't about becoming antisocial or shutting people out. Instead, they're about understanding how priorities change, how relationships evolve, and why choosing when and where to spend your time matters more than ever. If you've ever felt the same way, but couldn't quite explain why stick around, this will help you put it into words. Stay tuned until the end, because these reasons might just change the way you see yourself and your relationships, helping you feel more confident in the choices you make. Let's get started. Number 1, prioritizing energy for meaningful interactions. As you get older, you start to realize that your energy is not unlimited. The things that once felt effortless, driving across town, spending hours in conversation, attending every gathering, now take more out of you than they used to. It's not that you don't want to see people, but rather that you have to be selective about how you use your time and energy. You start to think, who are the people that truly matter? When you're younger, socializing often revolves around staying connected, keeping up with acquaintances, and maintaining a wide circle of friends. But as the years go by, something shifts. You begin to value quality over quantity. It's no longer about seeing everyone. You'd rather spend time with the people who uplift, make you feel comfortable, and bring real joy into your life. Casual visits that used to feel necessary now seem like a drain on your limited energy, especially when you could be using that time to nurture relationships that truly matter. Think about it. How many times have you forced yourself to go somewhere out of obligation, only to come home feeling exhausted? You sit through conversations that don't really interest. You spend time with people who don't make an effort to know you, and leave feeling like you would have been happier staying home. There comes a point where you realize that your time is valuable, and not everyone deserves a piece of it. Take Frank, for example. He used to feel guilty about turning down invitations. He thought that if he didn't go visit people regularly, they would think he didn't care. But over time, he noticed something. The people who truly valued him didn't need frequent visits to maintain a strong connection. Instead of spending his energy on surface-level interactions, he started focusing on deeper, more meaningful relationships, and suddenly socializing felt less like an obligation and more like a true joy. It's not about isolating yourself, it's about choosing wisely. You don't need to be everywhere, and you don't need to see everyone to prove that you care. Real connections don't require constant presence. They require genuine appreciation, understanding, and a mutual respect for each other's time. Number 2, avoiding unnecessary stress and drama. One of the biggest lessons you learn as you get older is that not every social interaction is worth your peace of mind. There was a time when you might have tolerated gossip, unnecessary conflicts, or people who seem to bring more negativity than joy. But as the years go by, you start to recognize that protecting your peace is more important than maintaining every relationship. It's not that you don't care about people. It's that you don't have the patience for drama anymore. You don't feel the need to argue over small things, rehash old conflicts, or entertain conversations that leave you feeling frustrated. If visiting someone means dealing with unnecessary stress, whether it's family tension, passive-aggressive remarks, or the same old arguments that never go anywhere, you start to ask yourself, why am I putting myself through this? Think about it. Have you ever left a gathering feeling emotionally drained? Maybe you sat through a dinner where people complained the whole time, or you visited someone out of obligation, only to listen to negativity, gossip, or criticism. There comes a point where you realize that time spent in stressful environments is time you'll never get back. And at this stage in life, every moment matters. For example, take Helen, who used to visit certain family members regularly. Even though every visit left her feeling emotionally exhausted, there was always tension in the air, always an argument waiting to happen, always something that made her feel like she wasn't being appreciated. One day, she decided she wasn't going to keep putting herself in those situations. Instead, she focused on the people who made her feel loved, welcomed, and respected. And for the first time in years, socializing felt enjoyable again. The truth is, you have every right to protect your time and energy. You don't owe anyone your presence, especially if that presence comes at the cost of your own happiness. Choosing to avoid unnecessary stress isn't being rude, it's being wise. Because the people who truly care about you won't make you feel obligated to endure negativity just to maintain a relationship. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, finding comfort in familiar spaces. There's something about home that just feels right. Over the years, you build a space that's yours, a place where you can relax, think, and truly be yourself. And as you get older, that comfort becomes more valuable than ever. The idea of getting dressed, driving across town, making small talk, and sitting in someone else's space just doesn't feel as appealing as it once did. It's not about avoiding people. It's about appreciating the peace of your own surroundings. When you're younger, there's an urge to always be on the go, always seeking out social events and new experiences. But over time, you realize that being out isn't always better than being home. There's a special kind of joy in waking up in your own bed, drinking coffee from your favorite mug, and knowing that your day will go exactly how you want it to. There's no pressure to entertain, no need to adjust to someone else's schedule, just the comfort of being in a space that feels truly yours. For someone, visiting people means dealing with environments that don't feel welcoming. Maybe their house is too loud, too chaotic, or just not comfortable for long visits. Maybe the chairs aren't as supportive, the atmosphere feels unfamiliar, or you don't feel as at ease as you do in your own home. The reality is, as you age, your comfort matters more than social expectations. And if you find more joy in staying home than in traveling to visit others, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Take Bill, for example. He used to feel guilty about turning down invitations. But every time he visited someone, he found himself counting the minutes until he could leave. The noise, the distractions, the unfamiliar environment, it was exhausting. One day he decided to stop, forcing himself to go places just because he felt he had to. Instead, he started inviting people to visit him on his own terms. And suddenly, socializing became something he actually looked forward to, instead of something he dreaded. There's a reason why home feels like home. Because it's a space designed for you. It's where you feel safe, where your favorite things are, where you can move at your own pace, without worrying about being a guest in someone else's space. Choosing to spend more time at home isn't about isolation. It's about embracing the comfort you've worked so hard to create. Now let's talk about something that happens naturally as you get older. Realizing that not every relationship needs constant upkeep. Number 4, preferring quality over quantity in social life. When you're younger, socializing often feels like a numbers game. The more friends you have, the more invitations you get, the busier your calendar looks, the more connected you feel. But as you age, you begin to realize that Real fulfillment doesn't come from the number of people in your life, but from the depth of the relationships you maintain. Instead of making the effort to visit just for the sake of socializing, many older adults choose to invest in fewer but more meaningful connections. At this stage in life, there's no need for shallow friendships. You're no longer trying to impress, prove anything, or maintain relationships that don't bring genuine joy. The people who are truly important don't require constant visits or frequent check-ins to stay close. There's a mutual understanding that friendship isn't about physical presence, it's about being there in the ways that actually matter. Think about how many casual acquaintances you've had over the years. People you spent time with out of routine, convenience, or even obligation. Now ask yourself how many of those people truly added something valuable to your life. If the answer is not many, then it makes sense why, as you grow older, you stop feeling the need to maintain so many connections. The friendships that last aren't the ones based on convenience or habit, but on genuine understanding, trust, and appreciation. Take Nancy, for example. She used to feel like she had to keep up with everyone, calling, visiting, making plans, just to make sure she wasn't forgotten. But over time, she realized that the people who truly cared about her didn't need that constant reinforcement. She started focusing on the relationships that felt effortless, the ones where she could go weeks or months without seeing someone, yet still pick up right where they left off. And suddenly, her social life became less about obligation and more about real connection. Choosing quality over quantity doesn't mean cutting people off or isolating yourself. It means prioritizing the relationships that uplift you and letting go of the ones that don't. It's about recognizing that true friendship isn't measured by how often you see someone, but by how you feel when you're together. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, a shift in priorities and personal reflection. As you get older, you start to see life differently. The things that once seemed important, staying socially active, being seen, making sure you're always part of the group, start to fade in significance. Instead, you begin to focus on what truly matters. You recognize that your time is limited, and you start making choices that reflect what brings you the most peace, fulfillment, and happiness. For many seniors, this shift in priorities means that visiting others just for the sake of it no longer feels necessary. Instead of spending time on activities that no longer bring joy, there's a deeper appreciation for self-care, personal growth, and simply enjoying the present moment. Some people find fulfillment in reading, others in hobbies they never had time for before, and others in simply sitting in the quiet of their home, reflecting on the life they've lived. Think about it. How many moments have you spent doing things out of habit rather than genuine interest? When you were younger, you might have felt pressure to say yes to every invitation, keep up with social expectations, and always be on the go. But now you have the freedom to choose differently. You can prioritize the things that bring you joy, whether that means spending time alone, being with loved ones, or simply embracing the peace that comes with aging. Take Robert, for example. He spent most of his life being a social butterfly, always attending events, always making sure he was present. But as he got older, he realized that he found more peace in solitude than in constant social interaction. He started to spend more time outdoors, enjoying simple walks, reading books he had put off for years, and reflecting on the things that truly made him happy. Instead of forcing himself to visit people just to maintain appearances, he embraced the idea that being alone didn't mean being lonely. It meant being in control of his time. This shift in priorities isn't about pushing people away, it's about honoring yourself. It's about recognizing that the best way to live these years isn't by following old habits, but by embracing what feels right, what feels meaningful, and what brings you peace. Now let's talk about something just as important: why real friendships don't need frequent visits to stay strong. Number 6, recognizing that true friendships don't require frequent visits. One of the biggest realizations that comes with age is that the best friendships don't rely on constant visits or regular check-ins. When you're younger, it might seem like relationships need constant maintenance to stay strong. You call often, you visit frequently, you go out of your way to keep up. But as you get older, you realize that real connections don't fade just because you see someone less often. The truth is, life naturally pulls people in different directions. Families grow, priorities shift, and people settle into different routines. But strong relationships, the ones that truly matter, are built on something deeper than physical presence. They're built on mutual respect, understanding, and an unspoken bond that doesn't need constant reinforcement. Some of the closest friendships are the ones where you can go weeks, months, or even years without seeing each other. And yet, when you do reconnect, it feels like no time has passed at all. Think about your own friendships. There are probably people in your life who you don't see as often as you used to, yet when you do, it's as if nothing has changed. You don't need to prove your loyalty or constantly be in each other's presence. The connection is already there. And on the other hand, there may have been relationships in the past where you spent a lot of time visiting, yet deep down, those friendships didn't truly fulfill you. Take Eleanor, for example. She used to feel guilty about not visiting people as much as she used to. She worried that if she didn't put in the effort, those relationships would fade. But what she found was the opposite. The people who genuinely cared about her never once made her feel guilty for not visiting more often. They understood that life changes, and that a strong friendship isn't about how often you see each other, but about how you show up for each other when it truly matters. This is why so many older adults choose to stop feeling pressure to visit others out of obligation. True friendships don't demand constant presence. They offer comfort, understanding, and the kind of bond that doesn't weaken with time. If someone makes you feel guilty for not visiting enough, maybe it's time to ask yourself if that's really the kind of friendship you want to maintain. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Final thoughts. As we wrap up this video, take a moment to reflect on the 6 reasons why visiting people less often isn't something to feel guilty about. Life changes, priorities shift, and the way we socialize naturally evolves. Whether it's preserving your energy for meaningful interactions, avoiding unnecessary stress, embracing the comfort of home, focusing on quality over quantity in relationships, redefining your personal priorities, or recognizing that true friendships don't require constant visits. These are all valid and important reasons to choose how you spend your time wisely. One of the greatest freedoms that comes with aging is the ability to live life on your own terms. You no longer feel pressured to keep up appearances, force interactions, or visit people just because it's expected. Instead, you make choices based on what truly brings you joy, peace, and fulfillment. That's not being antisocial, it's being intentional with your time. And when you do spend time with people, it's because you genuinely want to, not because you feel obligated to. The most important thing to remember is that your value isn't measured by how often you visit people, but by the relationships you nurture in your own way. The people who truly matter will understand that friendship and love go beyond physical presence. And as you focus on the connections that uplift you, you'll find that you're left with the relationships that truly make life meaningful. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.